Hello everybody, hey, it's Ken Faulkner, and I'm moving along with the collection videos. Trying to get it done before a blade show. I think I've gotten about 70 done, so this is another 22 here, 23 here. The range of pricing as I'm going through from the least expensive to the most expensive. We're now the over 40 to $55 range, and I got 23 in that range. So again, we still have a lot of good budget knives. We got some big guys tonight and some stuff that's a little different. So let's kind of try to get this out of the way. And like I have been doing, I'm going to kind of do this from lowest to highest price, and we're going to be moving all the way through the collection until we get up to the more expensive knives. So you kind of see that transition. You can kind of see where I've come through my knife collecting journey. I still buy some more inexpensive knives. Still enjoy more inexpensive knives. But I've definitely gotten to the point where I am buying more expensive knives. So I'm starting it off with a Kaiser. And this is one of those ones that I was talking about, bigger knives. Kaiser Roach, which is a really great value. This one on my list. Now, when I went through and found prices, but you know, different websites are going to be a little bit different. Over time, things may change. So this was at one point in time where I kind of put all the values in. So you know, you can't take this as gospel. I can't really tell you where I got all these prices from. Kaiser Roach. So yes, this is a big knife, flipper only, big blade. I really like this knife. It's got some good micarta, which I love, especially it's got that patina. That's what I like about one of the things I like about micarta. Also, usually you get a good grip on it, and you do with this one. Kaiser does a great job with it. Kaiser Roach liner lock, flipper only. N690 is the steel. Spear point blade is what I'm calling it. Micarta handles, and it's $40.50. Incredible deal for a nice big knife like this. Great size knife. If you like big knives, if you want to do work with your knives, this is an excellent knife for that. It's one of those ones that I would, you know, take to do if I know that I'm going to be doing some serious cutting. This would be one. It's got that finger choil, which it doesn't necessarily need because you can choke back and still have a good grip. But when you're up here, it's just very good for pushing through, doing push cuts and things like that. All right, trying to keep it from getting too long, but you know I always fail. So I'm moving on. CJRB, more Milea. Let's find it here. More Milea, where are you? That's one of the things that's hard about doing these collection videos, especially because I'm breaking it all up, is that I had to find all these knives, put them out on the table so you can see them, so I could talk about them. But I do like going through them all. Sometimes there's ones that get left behind in the collection. So CJRB always has some good prices. It's obviously an artisan cutlery, or maybe you don't know. Artisan cutlery, more of a budget range. Swags. If you don't know Swags, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but she's involved with Rosecraft quite a bit lately. But this was a design she did. I'm always liking seeing women getting involved in knife design or just knife collecting in general. You know, it's really not just a man's thing, even though you tend to see more men in that sort of thing. But there's a lot for everybody to enjoy, and I really like the fact that she She had the Mylea, which is a smaller version of this, and I think that she was intending for the smaller pockets that women have in their jeans. And it's just kind of a reality that they tend to deal with. This is the more Mylea. I was super excited when that came out because it's a little bit larger knife. Great knife, feels good in the hand. It's very nice and tall for a smaller knife. It's got a front flipper and great thumb studs. It's a cool look, good ergonomics, more Mylea. CJRB. The price on that one is, okay, it's an ARRPM9. We've heard a lot about that steel recently. And it is coming in at $41.95. All right. Now, we're having a lot of sin cuts coming in this time. And I really think, in fact, just recently I was asked for somebody who doesn't have a lot of money, what would be the best knife for them to pick up, and I mentioned Sincut as a brand that I would recommend the most for somebody looking for an inexpensive knife with good quality. And we're going to start here with the Actium. I think we have 3 Sincuts in this part of the collection. This is the Actium. This may have been the first Sincut that I bought. Yeah, you can see that this is one that hasn't been out for a while. It's got some little schmutz on there. Probably could use a stropping. But the blade in general looks clean. We're talking about D2 steel. So you do tend to get that on there if you're not, even if it's been clean when it got put away, it can get those little marks on it. But it's pretty easy to clean that stuff up. This is cool, little clip pointy action, great jimping here, almost like a harpoon kind of thing with a thumb ramp. That is excellent. G10 handles, nothing super special there, but it does have good jimping. Like you would expect from that whole family of knives. Sincut being the budget version of Civivi, and Sincut, that combination, same company. They really bring good quality in their knives. Awesome satin, and you can see the grind lines on there. Looks really nice, cuts really well, always bringing that quality. Good fidgety. It's got the thumb studs, which makes it thumb and middle finger flickable. Plus, it also does have that that flipper tab, which works really well. Good jimping up here all the way around. Bees would definitely be happy with that. You see how that jimping is, and I am too. And the thumb ramp is jimped and very comfortable. Just another good work knife, definitely. Moving on. Ontario Rat 1. We did the Rat 2. I believe that was on the last group of knives that I showed in the collection. And I had the Rat 2 much earlier on. This one I actually bought when there was all that hubbub going on with them being bought by I think it's a Chinese company, and the concern about that. I wanted to get a Model 1, but I put it off forever. There's like certain knives that that are on my radar, but because there's so many to choose from, I'm sure you know this. If you're a knife collector or avid knife buyer, there's so many good ones out there. But this is just a solid and, ultimately a great work knife. There's not much bad to say. It doesn't stand out as being super premium or anything, but full 100% full flat grind. Cuts really well, good quality. We're talking about a D2 blade. So we got D2 steel on this particular brand or version of it. It's got a nylon handle that feels really good. Feels a lot like let's see. Yeah, it says nylon, but it feels a lot like G10. So I don't know, maybe it is G10, but it feels enough like it that I'm not too worried about it. Price is $43.35. I think on the more Mylea or the Actium, I might have left off the price That's $43.35, and if I didn't say on the more Mylea, we're at $41.95. Trying to keep up, I know I'm missing some stuff as I go through this, but there's a lot here, and I try not to spend too much time. This knife was kind of fun to pick up. It's a Sanrin Mew. This is one of those Amazon knives that you see, but it's a beast. It's a big knife. Like I said, there was quite a few big knives on this set, even though it's still under $55. There's a couple options there that are really cool. This one has a recurve on it, and this interesting handle, kind of almost like a rock pattern. What we're seeing on the spreadsheet, the name of this one is the 1006. Not very exciting. That is just a number. 14C28N. That's pretty exciting. That's a good blade steel. Some people aren't too hot on it. It's just a good solid steel. I like D2. I like 14C28N. I believe 14C might be a little bit more stainless. It's got a G10 handle with that cool milling. G10 you can do a lot of machining with, and I know that from personal experience through work because we use it for non-knife stuff, and we machine it quite a bit, and it handles being machined, holes drilled in it, cutouts made in it, that kind of thing. And it's also very strong. We use it for some support structures where we need insulation. So it is a really good quality material. G10, $45.95 is the price on that. Pretty cool look. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this one. Moving on. We are going to another Sin cut, and if you've watched my channel, if you're new here, you may not know, I love this knife, the Serene. I think I'm pretty much 100% sure that I bought this right after Blade Show last year in the Atlanta Blade Show, because I just finally decided that I have to have this knife, and they were sold out at the show. So I ended up getting this off of probably Amazon at the time. But being able to handle it at the show just made me, it kept coming back to me. It's one of those knives that, I think, maybe I don't need that one. Maybe I want something else. But I kept thinking about it. And it just wouldn't leave my head. Great size knife, nice long knife. You can see that, compare that to the Sanrin Mew. It's big. It's a big knife. Maybe the Roach is one that you're more familiar with. You can see it's not it's not quite as big, but it's still a pretty big knife. That was popular with me. It's got this really awesome red color. Unfortunately, I've dropped this a couple times and got a couple little marks in the aluminum. But the action is really good, very fidgety. It's got thumb studs and the button lock, which works really well. Moving on to the next Sin cut. And this is one, I think I bought this at Blade Show West last year. Got it in like a bargain bin. I think it was something around $20. I don't know. I think they were discontinuing it, but I was going to use it for a giveaway, but I kind of fell in love with it. It may end up in a giveaway eventually. We'll see how it goes. But man, that is a beautiful knife. Warncliffe. It's got that little fuller there that makes it flickable. I'm not sure if you can get it with a thumb. Don't really use it. Oh yeah, it worked pretty well. Also, finger choil. Nice long handle. You can really get there. And you got that Sin cut button lock, which just gives you some awesome action. So, very cool knife. I couldn't quite let go of it. Possibly in the future, we'll see. Moving on, Rosecraft Blades is the next one. Appalachian Jack. And I think I'm pretty sure this is Appalachian Jack. Let's see if it says, hang on a second. I know it's Rosecraft. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got that right. If not, forgive me. I'm dealing with a lot of knives, a lot of names. Names are hard for me. This is one. I know the story behind this because I ordered the Mohawk, and I opened up the box for the Mohawk, and this was in it. They had accidentally sent me the wrong knife. I sent the email to Rosecraft. Andy Armstrong personally responded to me, and he said, sorry about that. We're going to send you out your Mohawk, and you can go ahead and keep this knife. And I'm super glad that they let me do that. I like that. I've always liked this kind of this down. It's like an opposite of a swayback, that downward shaped. He's got a new design, that one that has a skull on it. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I've seen it mostly in green covers with a little skull, and I am planning on, if I can, picking that up at Blade Show next week, because it's only a week away from Blade Show. This is a great knife. They always do. Andy does all their slip joints, or I think they got that kind of look. Like it looks a lot like a. In fact, it is a Rough Rider. It's a Rough Rider. I did mix it up. Let's get the actual knife out that I'm looking at. Double check it. Make sure that, here's the one. I knew there was something odd there. And like the last video I did have to edit myself right in the middle. This is clearly Rosecraft blades. And this is the one with the story. It's got the clip point. It also does kind of slope down a little bit, but it is very cool. You can kind of see that it's similar to the other one. But I was looking at that match strike on the nail nick, and I'm going, oh, wait a minute. That's a Rosecraft, not a Rosecraft, a Rough Rider. Andy actually worked for Rosecraft, I believe. I mean, Rough Rider, I believe. And that may be part of that whole confusion. This is a cool knife. It also has this little pry bar on the end, which I think is a really cool feature. Apparently that is an older pattern, that a lot of these slip joints are based on patterns. So back to this knife, now that I got the right one out, a slip joint D2 blade. So we got beginnings of little marks on there. So I'll have to strop it up. D2 micarta covers, China, 47.50, and also the Watuga was 47.50. In case I missed that one, Serene. I don't think I said the price on that one. 46.75. So right in there, kind of that under $50 range. Really great price for these knives. Next, this is a cool one. This is kind of early on my collecting. Petrified Fish. I saw this one. I like big knives. This really spoke to me. It's a little different than usual. It does have that front flipper. Maybe one of my first front flippers in the collection. We're talking about D2 blade, micarta handle. This one also has texture, but it's a different kind. It's definitely not the fully smooth micarta, but not as much texture as some of the Kaisers. But yeah, they have a smaller version of this too. I know that was very popular, but I do like this bigger one. The Beluga, it's K110 steel, so something a little different. It is $48.99 is the price. So we're still staying under that $50 price point. Definitely, I think in most people's book, under $50 is going to be considered a budget knife. Some people will go up to $100, but $50 is usually pretty safe to say a budget knife. Next one is from Six Leaf. Let's see if I can find it. This is kind of a cool one if I can find it. I know it was here. Sorry, guys. I'm pretty sure I was just looking at it. So, there you go. Six Leaf. There it is. 23 knives out on the table. Sometimes it's kind of hard, so I can't flick it off this little fuller. This tiny little fuller, but I could still flick it, which is cool for me. I like to have multiple options. It's not super reliable, but there is the flipper, which you can always hit. It's got that 6-leaf symbol there. Cool blade. I don't know, that look is kind of looks like a bird's beak. And this one is D2 steel and G10 handle. Kind of basic Chinese knife. One of those companies. This one, the price range is $48.99. So we're still sticking in that under $50. Good full-size knife. Feels good in the hand. It'd be good to use for work, for sure. This one is called the SL09. You can see it says there SL. If it'll focus, SL09 D2. All right, keep it going. Spyderco fixed blade. This is the only fixed blade I believe in this price range, but it's a very cool little one. It's very expensive. This is one of the Spydercos that is made in China. This one is called the Bow River, and it's 8CR 13 MOV. Cuts really well, just like you expect from any Spyderco. Super thin blade, almost steak knife look to it. It's got this cool little choil here that you can kind of get into there. Of course, it's got a hole because it's just Spyderco. This is my only Spyderco fixed blade knife. They're more known for their folders anyway, but that is a really nice sheath. I was very drawn to the sheath when I saw it. Plus the price tag. The price tag on this one is $49. $49 for a Spyderco. That's pretty cool. All right, we're going to keep moving. Artisan cutlery. This is another big knife. The Proponent. I've had this on the channel quite a few times because I'm just very impressed with this. It's so heavy. It's got the brass handles. That's what really puts it over the top. It's a big knife anyway. It falls really well because it's so big. And whereas that Spyderco was a thin blade, this one is super thick, but it does have a tall blade, big fuller, huge thumb studs, just gigantic. Artisan cutlery. This one I got at one of the shows. I think this one actually got at my first Blade Show West. That was in Long Beach, right close by me. And this one is coming in at $49. And I couldn't believe it when I heard that price, because I was looking at it going, man, that's looks like one of those bruisers, kind of reminiscent of something that you would get from some of those companies, the bigger companies. I can't think of his name. The guy everybody dislikes, Medford. Not everybody. I like him, and a lot of people do like him, but some people don't like him. But yeah, the milling on here is very cool. Anyway, Proponent. We got to move on. I'm getting long on this video, and I think we're only about halfway through. CJRB Pyrite. It's another one. Discounted one that I had. Maybe it's because it has a pink handle. I'm not afraid of pink. I am secure in my masculinity, and pink is definitely a very viable color. Everybody knows the Pyrite, or most of you do. Finger choil back here, button lock, great action, very popular blade for a long time. I like it. It's not as high on my list as maybe some other people. AR RPM 9 steel, G10 handles, good grip, and then we're still at $49.95. We got a few of them coming through this list at $49.95. Civivi. So here we go. This is one of my most favorite Civivi knives, and my first one that I ever bought. I love this hollow grind knife. I love it. good size, carbon fiber, for a really great price. This blade steel is 9CR, 18 MOV. And this is carbon fiber overlaid on G10. So it's not real carbon fiber, but it looks really cool. Just a great thumb ramp. It's got some jimping on the liner lock. Works really well. Price on this one, again, $49.95. Just keeping it right below that price. I think they discontinued this, which is sad, because this is a really cool blade. I really like it. But we got to move on. Can't dwell. Megaron. This wasn't that long ago that I picked this one up. It was something that I bought because I was looking at Megaron. I hadn't really had any Megarons for a while, and then, again, I'm having trouble finding the knife in this big batch of knives here in front of me. Here it is. The more Jarl. And if you remember me doing videos on this knife, you knew I struggle with that name, and I still do. But it's a great knife. It really flicks out. Good finger slot there. It maybe not so much for the thumb, but my favorite, the middle finger flick. It's great G10 with good grippiness, good middle clip. Everything's good about this knife. I mean, it's I actually would say I like this over the Pyrite personally. Maybe because I'm not so much a button lock person. I do like a liner lock. 14C28N and G10, and again, $49.95. All right, so we're on to a Boker, and I did have a Boker on the last one, which was the Mermaid. This one's an auto from, and it is Cali legal, and you can see why. Tiny little blade, sub 2-inch. So that's kind of why I got it, just to have some autos in the collection that I could actually carry. It actually came, I believe it came with this, or maybe I put this on, I don't know. But I don't really have the lanyards too often, but something this small has something that I can grab the pinky on in case it slips out of my hand. I got something to hold on to. It's also easier to get out of my pocket that way. Snaps out pretty good. It's not a bad knife. This one is called the Vox Compact. I guess it's a Vox design, side auto button lock, D2 blade, aluminum handles, as you get on a lot of autos for some reason. But yeah, it's a cool little knife. Fit pocket carry for me. I like to do that. It's sometimes good to have a little auto just for the fidget factor. And the price on that one is, again, $49.95. One more in that price range. $49.95 is going to be the Buck Spitfire, and you may recognize this from the last set because I pulled this out when I really meant to have that slip joint that was a Buck. I did see this on somebody's channel. Can't remember exactly who it was. I think it was Knife Delights that showed this, and I was thinking, man, that's a cool buck. It's not USA. Let's see, is it a USA made? Here we go. This is a USA made knife. This is the first USA made knife as we've been going up in the price range, and that's what it really caught my eye, is the fact that I can get a USA made knife for sub $50. This one is at $49.99, just under that $50. It's got a recurve blade. The steel on it is a 420HC. That's what they do the Buck 110 in, and they do a great job with the heat treat on that. I know Scab had a break on one, but I think that was just kind of an oddball thing. If you've seen any of that stuff, he was doing some what do you call it when you hit the knife on the back? The names are hard. Anyhow, he had a problem with one breaking. It was a fixed blade, not this one. But anyway, this got the back lock, which you kind of see from Buck knives. Cool with a little pop of green in the back, which I like. And it's a cool knife. I mean, very much a one-handed knife. You can You can close it one-handed if you get used to it. It's got a pretty decent clip. It's very wide, but it doesn't. It's not so strong that you can't get it in and out of the pocket, and it holds it well. Buck Spitfire. We're talking 420 HC. Like I said, aluminum handles, USA made, $49.99. Well, now we're bumping over $50, and we're going to a Balisong. Balisong knives, not legal in California. I'm not able to carry this anywhere. I'm a big fan of them. I got martial arts training in my past, and I loved, especially as a youngster, playing with these things. Harder to do on camera, and I've never been able to do the throwing around and do major tricks with, but I can do that basic open pretty well, open and close. And I think it's just a fun knife. This one's kind of cool. It's a Tonto. That's what kind of drew me to it. I actually drove to Arizona to buy this one because you can't. I used to be able to buy them like in liquor stores and stuff like that when I was a kid. More recently, I broke one of the ones that I had from when I was a kid, and I wanted to replace it, and I couldn't find any place local that would sell it, and none of the resellers, the knife sellers, would ship them here. So I was in Arizona. I happened to be in Arizona, so I went ahead and picked this one up. This one is slightly over, so it's $51.75. They tend to be more expensive. There's nothing special about this as far as the name is a BC114AB. It's from Bear & Sons, and it's stainless steel. So I have no idea what that means. Tonto. The handles are die-cast steel. So it's like there's nothing special about the materials on this. It's a pretty cool knife. It works really well. But yeah, it's you're gonna pay a little bit extra for basic stuff, being a Balisong for some reason. Moving on. We're on to a O knife. This is, I think, the first O knife in this collection. This was one of the O knives that I've been most impressed with because it's bigger, because I like bigger knives. And it reminded me of the Proponent. This one is called the Heron L1. It's a liner lock. Got a kind of a cool sound on the opening closing. It's a D2 blade, Warncliffe, obviously. Very pointy on the tip. I like a straight blade, kind of like the Spyderco Yojimbo. Straight blade with a good point on it. So I really wanted this one. It sold out really fast. I wasn't able to get it. Blade steel on this one I have listed as stainless steel. I don't know if it says anything otherwise. That seems kind of odd. But maybe that's what I found when I don't know. Anyhow, it's a oh, no. I'm getting mixed up. I'm sorry. This one is D2. That makes more sense. Warncliffe G10 handles. It's got this pattern on it. That's pretty cool. So a little bit of a tapered out, which is good. It holds well in the hand. It's got this good front place where you got two fingers into it. $51.99. And moving on. Civivi again. This one is a if I can find it. This one is a design by, where is it? I know it's here. Have you ever had like something that's like right in front of you and you just can't find it? This is the and now I'm blanking on the name. The designer, the one that passed away. There's his logo, and I collect them, and I can't think of the name. Elijah Isham. Sorry about that, guys. You're probably used to it by now. This is one of the Civivis that's from him. They have several. I have several of their designs. It's a D2 blade steel. Anthropus is what it's called. Anthropus. Well, he's got interesting names. It's got carbon fiber on it with overlaid on G10 for the handle. And the price on this one is $53.13. And it's got that little triangle that you see a lot on Elijah's designs. Nice, good, tall, flat grind. And yeah, it's a fairly small knife. You can choke up. But yeah, it's a good blade. And I just like his knives, so I had to pick that one up. Moving on, Kershaw. Almost done. This is a classic. This is one that you see a lot of people talk about, and one of the few auto assisted knives that I have. I bought this pretty early in my collecting Kershaw Leak, and it's definitely got that Wharncliffe blade, 14C 28N, and USA made, so that's cool, at 54.40. And assisted, and it's stainless steel handles on it, but it's a cool knife. I mean, it really is. It's kind of a small blade. I know that some people have had problems with the tip breaking. Moving on, and almost done. SOG. I think this is the only SOG I have in my entire collection, and I got this one when I donated to Knife Rights. So it's got the whole logo: Essential Tools, Essential Rights, Knife Rights. It's a SOG Terminus XR. And it's a cool little knife. I got it free by donating, I don't know, like $100 or something like that. But it's a very worthy cause. This is a Cryo D2 blade. Crossbar lock, G10 handles. It's actually a very cool little knife. Great EDC knife. Even though it's Cryo D2, it definitely needs to get stropped. Free the knives. Hashtag free the knives. I think they're doing a big donation thing giveaway right now. If you're interested, go ahead and check that out. And I got one more very cool, because my battery's almost dead. Clinch River. Hopefully I'll finish this. If it ends right now, it's because my battery died. Clinch River sway back, slip joint, D2, Wharncliffe, bourbon bone from Rosecraft. $54.99, and I love that bourbon bone. I got this at Blade Show Atlanta. I had a story about that where he didn't have it the first day because he had put it in a contest and it won like the foreign knife of the year, and that's probably not the term, but out of the United States